Well, the Hawaii Department of Health is now encouraging parents and caregivers to get back to the doctor, resume their in-person checkups with their keiki's doctor as well. Joining us now this morning over Zoom is Dr. Mary Rose Nino from Hawaii Pediatrics to tell us more about this. Doctor, thank you so much for waking up with us this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You know, the video that was posted recently is telling parents that it's time to go back to the doctor's office. Why have doctors been seeing a decrease in checkups?
So I'm a mom myself. I have an almost 5-year-old and a 17-month-old, and I actually had my second daughter last July in the middle of the pandemic. So I understand the fears and worries that come with being a parent during this time, and worried about possible exposure to their child anywhere they're going. But I want to reassure families that doctors' offices are taking extra steps to keep your children safe. These may include temperature checks, symptom screenings, increased cleaning, and separating sick and well child visits.
Obviously, parents are always concerned about protecting their children, but in doing so, they may be putting their kids at risk. Can you talk about what the risks are of not going to get your child checked out regularly?
Yes. So as pediatricians, we use these regular checkups to monitor kids' growth and development. We check their vision and hearing and just keep them up to date with vaccinations to prevent vaccine-preventable illnesses. And during these visits, we do physical exams and screeners that help us identify health issues early on. So by missing these appointments, we may be missing some issues that could be addressed. And it's also an opportunity for parents and caregivers to ask us as their providers questions about their child's health.
Well, congratulations on your baby, born just a few months ago. You know, as a new mom, again, you can obviously talk to some of the different things that doctors will tell you as you go to these checkups, especially if their child hasn't been to a doctor, say, in over a year.
Right. So during these checkups, especially in that first year of life, so having in between the first 2 years of life, there are regular routine visits that we have, and each of those there are many important things that we track. But definitely the immunizations, I feel like, are an important factor and reasons why we need to have those in-person visits. And there's so much growth that happens in those first 2 years. I'm sure for those that have children, you see all of those milestones, and we want to catch those developmental delays early on, so that way we can get them the help and services they need.
Now, I want to show people the video that the Department of Health has published here, and maybe you can help explain a little bit of why getting your child in person is such an important aspect for the Department of Health.
Yes. So the Hawaii State Department of Health, along with the American Academy of Pediatrics Hawaii chapter, recently launched a campaign encouraging families to resume in-person well child checkups and dental visits too. This campaign just showcases some of the precautions that are taken, and additional resources can be found on keikicheckup.com. And if your child is due for a checkup, or if you have questions, please call your pediatrician. We have been and continue to be here for your family.
And of course, if you haven't seen a doctor in a while, good idea to check back in with your doctor, make sure that everything's going well, make those appointments now. Now, earlier in the pandemic, there was a backup of appointments, but I'm understanding that appointments have cleared up and it's easier to get your kid in now than it was, say, a year ago.
Yes, that's correct. So a year ago, we had the shutdown, or over a year ago, we had the shutdown. We were spacing apart appointments, so that did limit the spaces available, but also, of course, the fear of bringing your child into the doctors. But since then, and especially with schools being in session now, we are back to our regular scheduling. We do space apart appointments to keep patients safe and try to minimize any waiting areas in common spaces. So please call your doctor to find out what they're doing to protect your child for their visits.
Dr. Mary Rose Nino from Hawaii Pediatrics, thank you so much for your time this morning and for helping to explain the importance of getting your kids back in to see those doctors.